Alright, this isn't the video I expected to make today. I was ready to get out on the bike. Helmet out, jacket out, bags ready. And then, something stopped me cold. So I sat down, and this is what I came up with. Have you had days like this? Days where the ride was supposed to clear your head, but your head got in the way instead? What did you do on your day like that? Here's what I did. Before I go any further, I want to thank you. My last video blew up more than expected. The comments, the stories, seriously, it meant a lot. I read every single one and responded to every one of those comments, and they keep me grounded in the best possible way. All right, grounded. Meaning number one, benched. Not because anything dramatic happened, just life. Weather, schedules, obligations, the usual suspects. Motorcycling will humble you sometimes. There are days when the universe just says, nope, not today. So yeah, the GS is in the shop for maintenance. Nothing dramatic, usual service, oil change. Also want to get the final drive spline lubed. I've heard about some failures in the past, and I want to make sure that my GS is good to go for the long run. I've read some comments and heard horror stories about people that have experienced driveshaft failures due to the splines. So I want to make sure that my bike is good to go, so I'm having that checked as well. I was hoping that I would be riding this week, but like I said, the world had other plans and the bike's not ready yet. And that's okay, because bikes move on their own timeline. But this is one of my favorite roads, just in terms of the low country atmosphere, and you can see these beautiful trees and Spanish moss. And then there's the literal version of grounded, as in the bike's not going anywhere. But while the bike's in the shop, I've used this opportunity to think about some upgrades for the bike. I've ordered some equipment, and it's just arrived in time for Black Friday. I wanted to increase the visibility of my bike, and I decided to put on some additional auxiliary driving lights on the front. After researching all the various brands that are out there and contacting a couple of fellow YouTubers, I've decided to go with the Lone Rider MotoLites. I've ordered those, and they've actually just come in along with some accessories, and I'd like to show those to you real quickly. So I'm not going to be doing a full unboxing. I just want to show you the products to let you know what's going to be coming in the future. So let's look in the box. So as I mentioned, I decided to go with the Lone Rider MotoLites. These things are highly configurable, and really I think they're going to add a tremendous amount of lights to my bike for normal daytime riding, but at night these things light up the sky. So I'm really looking forward to getting those installed. I looked at a bunch of different mounting options. I do have the Touratech engine guards on my bike, and I thought about mounting the lights directly on that, and that's still an option. But I think what I've decided to do is to go with the under peak mount on the bike. And I did order the bracket that goes with that, and really these raise the lights up to a good position to give you good visibility and creating that lighting triangle with the three lights. Along with the lights, I've also ordered the MotoCAN, which is specific to my R1200 GS. This is really the brains of the system to allow you to set up and configure these lights exactly the way you want. I've looked at a lot of installation videos and it looks pretty straightforward. I'm really going to have to dedicate a full day to disassembling my bike and installing these lights as they should be and have a nice clean installation. I'll show you that in a future video, so don't worry about that. I've also, while I'm at it, I decided to make another minor upgrade that I think will make a huge difference. And that is, I am going to add the Denali B6 brake light on the back. This is also compatible with the Lone Rider MotoCAN, and it gives you a lot of different configuration options. One thing I didn't like about this is, in order to install it, there's a wiring pigtail that you have to adapt. And after some research, I decided to go with the adapter wire that comes from a company called A Bike Thing in the UK. A lot of you may have heard of them, and I've got that as well. So those are the upgrades that I'm planning to install on my bike. I will tell you that I purchased all of these products on my own, so there's no sponsorship by either Lone Rider or by Denali. Lone Rider did give me advance access to the Black Friday discount code, which was a 20% discount that they do one time per year. So I was able to order these in advance of Black Friday and have them arrive. So as soon as my bike gets back, I'll be ready to install those, and I'm really looking forward to that and spending some wrench time with the bike. So that gives you a little insight as to what I'm going to be working on to improve the visibility of my bike on the road. So I'll walk you through the install of these lights in a future episode. But while I'm grounded, there's something else that I wanted to talk with you about. I'd love your suggestions. Quiet towns, seafood joints, marsh roads, hidden corners of the low country, send them my way. I've got 3 locations already in mind. The first one is Cape Fear in the Southport, North Carolina area, where the Cape Fear River meets the Atlantic, a town shaped by storms, shrimp boats, and a long maritime history. Spanish moss, salt marsh, pastel houses, a little cinematic, a little haunted, and pure Carolina coast. The next location I'm thinking about is the little town of St. Mary's, Georgia. It's a quiet waterfront town on the Georgia-Florida line. It's a gateway to the Cumberland Island. Think about horses, Carnegie ruins, untouched beaches, colonial roots, old docks, and stories waiting under the live oaks. Finally, the third location I'm thinking about is a little place called Cedar Key, Florida. Florida before the billboards, a small Gulf island wrapped in oyster beds, tidal flats, and sunsets that stop conversations. Once a railroad terminus, now artist clamors and fish shacks on stilts. But I'd like to hear from you. What do you think? Drop your ideas in the comments. I always pay attention and respond to every comment. Okay, so let's talk cameras. The third meaning of grounded that surprised me the most. Grounded as in anchored, centered. For me, that's telling these stories, exploring. People ask me, Duncan, how do you make your films? Not the technical specs, but the mindset. And the DJI Action 5 Pro fits right into it. The audio is fantastic. The battery actually lasts, and the magnetic mount is really amazing for quick changes. Finally, a camera built for people who ride, film, and not have to mess with their gear. I should point out that all of my DJI equipment was purchased by me. I'm not sponsored in any way by DJI. And the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, paired with the DJI Mic 2, is really a winning combination. This microphone can be used standalone, or it can be clipped inside my helmet to provide fantastic in-helmet audio. And since I can't ride today, I figured I'd show you some of the tools that help me put together quieter, more reflective stories. So I used GoPro for years. I still have about 5 of them, but as my videos shifted more toward reflection and natural audio, the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro just fits me better. I don't want to wrestle with gear. I want the gear to support my story. One thing I've learned is that good equipment shouldn't demand your attention. It should free your attention. When I'm riding, I don't want to think about menus or blinking LEDs. I want to be present, because that's when the good things happen. You know those moments when you're riding across a marsh, or someone gives you a nod at a stop sign, or a story just appears in front of you. Gear doesn't wait for those moments, and those moments most often don't repeat themselves. That's why I switched, not for the specs, but for the simplicity, for the freedom to stay connected to the road, the people, and the story unfolding in front of you. I don't chase shots anymore. I let them find me. And with the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, I can clip it, unclip it, take it with me. I can mount it, unmount it, hold it in my hand, or stick it in my pocket, all without breaking the moment. My approach is simple. Keep the camera rolling if the bike is moving. Stop when something grabs me, and shoot like I'm taking notes, not filming a commercial. That's really the backbone of these stories. And since the GS is down for maintenance, I might even take my Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Extreme Recon out for some scouting runs for some different locations. It gets me into places that the GS can't. And of course, Nomad, my DJI Air 3S drone, is always up for an adventure. I've got a few locations in mind. A bunch of you have asked for a deeper look at how I film. The drone work, the pacing, the sound design, the story structure. If that interests you, I'd love to build a proper behind-the-scenes episode, but only if it brings value. Let me know. Being grounded today reminds me that the ride is only part of the story. The quieter moments, the resets matter too. And before I go, I want to say thank you again for the incredible comments on my Why I Ride video. Hearing from so many of you riders in their 60s, 70s, and 80s about the peace, about the oneness, about the Zen, it moved me. It reminded me this channel isn't just about motorcycles. It's about connection, it's about perspective, and the shared stories that we carry. New rides are coming, new stories are coming, as soon as I get the bike back from the shop. And if you want to stick around for the next chapter, I'm glad you're here.
Stormy skies on wings of flame, I carve my path, no fear, no shame. With every mile the world